ISL Prime League.
To the Terraform. Here we are in the top left-hand corner. The purple Protoss player from Flipside Tactics. Give it up for puCK.
And down here,
Game 4.
respecting the pause request, is the Canadian player who is frozen in time right now. A slightly darker shade of yellow as the screen is somewhat grayed out. It is Semper.
I'm staring at my camera. I just turned my head and stared into the monitor, so it looked like it was the intro right there. But I'm very interested to see how this is actually going to play out. We were kind of talking beforehand in the break of, is it going to go really one way? Is puCK going to take it? Semper, though, I mean, he's played a lot of really good players coming through this. He beat Massa, he beat Ender, who are both one Canadian, Massa, but both very good players. Kind of different situations here. 3 at 2 1. Oh man,
Ooh,
counting is real.
At 3 at 21 is how I read that. But whatever. So Semper, his Marines may be stronger because they're always faithful, which is what Semper Fi means or something.
Okay, I was like, I think that has to do with his name.
It's the motto.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's the motto of the Marines.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I like
Is he
this.
Marine?
The name Semper just
Is
translates.
he a Canadian
to,
Marine? Because then he's not really a Marine.
It's true, but his name just means always. It's not the loyal
Always?
part. He's just the always part.
Yeah, I'm just always here, guys. Like, I sit in the chat channel and just annoy you, but for now we'll see. You know what? It looks like it probably will be that little bit more standard reactor after. Oh, will it be a Reaper? Nope, there's the reactor going down. Will be a reactor to pump out early Marines into a bunker to defend the natural base, which is the quick CC from Semper. That's the natural manage to throw down the engineering bay. Just do it. It's okay. Follow your dreams. Don't let them be dreams.
Yeah, in this case, it would actually work out puCK's favor a little bit if he did block it, because he doesn't want to build it. He's going to probably put a Stargate, I assume, down here.
You know what's...
Although he's not
actually,
doing it yet. He's not doing it yet.
Because it needs 150.
Yeah.
There we go.
He had like 200, but he wanted the mothership core. It would have looked weird if he didn't get the mothership core. So he does.
That would look very weird and would be a nice little inclination for Semper to scout the lack of the mothership core. On the other hand, though, we have seen him go double gas into Blink Stalkers a few times, and he does really like Blink Stalkers. Even though it's kind of awkward, he still has done that. We'll see, though. Stargate on the way, and Semper will always scout, and he will scout the position. Actually, he could barely not scout it, potentially.
It depends, whether he goes for this probe or reacts to that or something. Probe does pull away, but so he is going to actually find it. Something about that base looked a little light to him, which it is.
I love how puCK's just kind of like, okay, you scattered it. Here's a gate.
I'll make
Take
more.
That.
Yeah.
Fine. Like, you can't handle the truth, man. You can't handle it all. But the bunker is there now. Notice there's no bunker in the main, which is really the issue dealing with Adept Warpins. Thankfully, that will not be the case for Semper in the early game. Semper getting down the 1-1-1 build, Tech Lab off the back of, or at least on his factory, maybe a siege tank, which would be good on the high ground with supply depot defense to shell. We'll see, though. It's going to be a Void Ray to start off, so this is just a big puCK all-in.
Yep, and the Adept there getting a little too close, getting caught.
Homie J.
Just dies.
Homie A.
Yeah,
Homie
just
A, what did
dies
you do
straight
that
off
for?
there. The Void Ray hanging out.
Gateway's so
on
close.
the
There's Gateway done, but the Gateway still needs to morph into a Gateway to have the really quick Gateway. So many Gateways.
Yeah.
Marines push back. We see the engineering bay and the bunker coming down for Semper, so we'll be able to defend his front. Getting a Viking out, I'm a little bit worried about his main, possibly if we do see a Warp Prism eventually, if we see just continued harass by puCK here.
Yeah, he's
but I
getting
mean, you can't keep it up for so long. It's going to be difficult.
getting a Viking, getting a Widow Mine, which certainly makes sense. Charge going off here on the supply depot, which is actually fairly cute, as it does supply block him indeed. And that run by with the Adepts there. Oh, and this pylon supporting is excellent as well.
It is an excellent pylon right there. We'll be able to allow the Adepts to fall back, but it's only 11 seconds at a time. That supply block is terrible, as you just mentioned. Funny thing with the whatever type of macro mechanics section you want to call it, when you could drop supply or you could scam, is it was always really funny because I'd just be like, oh, why not just save up and drop supply a ton?
Yeah. There a Widowmine going off on a single target.
With shields, they do survive that if that's where Adept or if that's where Puck wants to go with this. But still a little bit of an issue. But now,
front with the charge, we'll get one down, but full repair on the others.
Yeah, they will kill that one for now, but that does mean the natural base is not mining, just providing Puck a little bit more time to do this, and he's not looking for a natural base at all. Semper is really trying to deny that with the 1 SCV, making sure he knows when it goes down. I don't think Puck's going to do it, and this is a really big 2-base play, 3 gates back at home. He could do a 4th, but I get actually technically 4 with the proxy. What I was thinking about that is you can scout that 3 gate, and it could look like kind of a more standard safe opener in the early game at least, because the 4th gate does have to be proxied.
He's going to land right in this Widow line.
Oh, does end up doing decent damage to 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cyclone here locking in a good number of Vikings now.
Cyclone does go down, and that is really the early defense of Semper and Terrans. They just the ability to focus down Adepts and kill them.
Oh, one of the Void Rays does fall there, though.
The nice Viking stutter.
Reset. Oh, the
siege tank
getting caught out. SCV's trying to come and defend that.
Won't do it. Sadly, Adepts are not armored, which is one thing I'd say maybe that would make other units better than them, making them armored, and so changing it up a little bit. So a lot of units just do a little bit better in the end. For now, though, Vikings do land or deal with that. Still, remember, Void Rays hit land and air, so they will be able to deal with those Vikings. But Vikings will go back up the corner of the mountain. The Marines end up barely actually picking up those Adepts.
Huge damage on 2 Void Rays there as the Widow Mine explodes on one. That is a big blow to this force.
It is a big blow. The bunker stays up, but there's just not enough to actually kill the stuff here.
Nope.
Like all 4 Marines are focusing down the Adepts, and they're doing nothing. We could see a siege up, but won't be the situation for now. It'll just do the constant 25 damage versus Stalkers and only 15 Adepts. Which, see, if they were armored and light, or just armored, because if they were light, Colossi would do great for this them and Banelings. And then if they were armored, I guess the siege tanks would be able to also do damage, and Stalkers straight up would be okay or better versus Adepts. Little thing I think would be a decent way to deal with it.
Yeah, quite true. Now the supply depot block does go down on the other side, as Puck does want to actually expand here. I keep thinking, okay, he started it now. During that entire thing, I kept thinking a single Oracle sneaking in. There was nothing actually in the mineral lines. The Vikings are there, of course, but for them to cut all the way across in front of the Void Rays might have been a problem. Tank eventually fending off the Adepts here.
Nice micro. I guess that is the way you're going to start fighting Adepts, but it is often hard as one player. There's the Vikings beautifully. Will land, picking up 5 kills so far, but I guess the electric shock is
going to sneak on into the mineral line, and it is exposed, at least for the time being. Getting the weak ones first. Excellent target firing there by Puck.
What's beautiful about this, maybe not beautiful, but smart, is that Puck has been on 1 base as in. He knew the Adepts could tank 2-base Terran for a very long time, but GG doesn't matter once the Oracle goes down. Welcome to Ruins of Saras. Here we are in the top right-hand corner. The lovely Protoss player from Flipside Tactics. It is Puck.
And his opponent over here on the left-hand side of the map, sporting that bright yellow. He is not Rep Meest or whatever. It is Semper.
And we see that Semper player looking like he's just going to open up how he has the previous games. And as usual, we do see the gas first, but you really have to be careful and scout it out and click on it to see actually how much gas has been mined to be able to say whether it was a Reaper, a Reactor, or a 1-1-1 build. Still, they all can kind of go from the same general location, or at least the same general time. puCK goes for the quick scout. Does see everything beautiful for him. And this is what you want as Protoss in a lot of situations. You get in, confirm no weird things are going down, no quick second or third gates. Raxes. And there's the reactor coming down for now. puCK is in the know, knows what's going on. Hopefully we'll be able to scout that natural base, and back at his home, you see natural going down.
Indeed it is. And gonna try and play perhaps more conventionally. There is a probe still out on the map, but looks to be headed on home as opposed to proxy shenanigans, taking the watchtower in the middle.
By the way, a supply drop, as you were mentioning earlier on, if you could snipe that, a supply drop plus a supply depot is 16 supplies. So that would be an incredible 8 for a normal depot plus 8 for a supply drop. So that'd be a huge deny.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, or at least temporarily, were working them into their build.
They were.
You know, when they took the mule out, but of course that is back. So you're probably not going to see as much of that. But there are still a few builds that do call on one being brought down to hit a certain timing, but it's more rare. It would have been neat to see that develop a bit if the mule, for the macro mechanics had stayed the way they were going to be, but they have reverted that, of course.
Or possibly make supply depot or call down slightly cheaper to make it more viable instead of mule. We'll see how those actually match up. Generally, mule, at least in Heart of the Swarm, when everyone figured it out, was better economically than drawing down a supply depot. More than 100 minerals you get from a mule. So it's just the time of the one SCV. You do got to take the SCV in account for working on it.
That is true, yeah.
Adept actually finishes and moves through. Maybe he'll get a kill here. It can't deal with the Marines, but it can try to go for the scout. Nope, Semper just picks it up. puCK is forced to do nothing about that, and looks like from Semper we will be doing a 1-1-1 build into Widowmine drops. Maybe some Hellions with this. No second gas, nothing indicative of Banshees, at least for now. While puCK will be going Robo and Warp Prism, very famous for his sentry drops and force fielding off the natural.
Indeed, and throwing down 2 more gateways behind the main base there.
After the scan, though, so he's only going to know about that in about 100 more seconds, or actually technically 50-ish seconds if he mules whatever.
And it's actually a Viking coming out of the starport here first, as opposed to a medevac to go on the aggressive. So I guess he is expecting to have to deter this warp prism. And I think he barely missed that warp prism with the Marine as it went by. But of course he knows it's obviously coming on its way.
He will barely miss that, you are correct. Twilight Council off the back of this, and I like that. I mean, I assume we will see a big Adept push into this. There's the Adepts coming up, and the Viking barely will not spot it. Semper, though, is prepared and prepped in his main. He needs a bunker, though, vitally. Maybe the Warp Prism will get shot down. Either way, though, he needs a bunker. That's what Terran players have to do to be able to hold in their mineral line.
Yeah, a lot of Marines here. He will drop down. There's a Widowmine over on the other side, too. Just out of range of it. The warp gate does fall, but that's a lot of Adepts.
That is definitely a lot of Adepts, and that Widowmine, or at least Widowmine Hellion, whatever push from Semper, never really came in the situation. So now Not only has puCK been aggressive, but he will stop the aggression of his opponent. It's just very important he doesn't die to Widow Mines here. 2 more racks trying to be added on, but that's not going to be enough. Only 2 Marine production, and they're all headed into the main, which they need to be careful not to head one by one into the meat grinder, which is puCK's force right here. Another Warp Prism on the way, and more Adepts being warped in on the low ground, by the way, from that pylon just below your screens. Moving into the third or natural base. I think puCK may have taken it right there.
Yeah,
if he can get, I mean, with the amount of Adepts coming in.
Yeah, he's going to be able to sandwich this on both sides. They're not great against bunkers, but when you can't bring any workers to it, they're decent enough. And we'll have to clear that out. The medevac trying to pick up the forces. And again, if he finishes off that supply depot or any of these other ones, it will again create a little situation. Nice Widow Mine blast. Nice positioning below on the ramp there too.
This is where Cyclones are so good for Terran, but more so in the aggression. You need to be able to pull back from your opponent to let them be able to work. And does this army spot the medevac? No, it does not. Just below your screens. 3 Widow Mines moving out, and that was the drop that was going to hit a minute, maybe a minute and a half ago. But puCK has denied it. Now going to the high ground, I love with deny any Vikings, anything of the sort. Adept being worked on the high ground, elevatoring up, and this army is looking scary for puCK. Currently, it is 42 army supply for puCK to the 30 of Semper. Is that enough, though? I dare say it is, even with an SCV pull.
Yeah, this is quite a bit. Now, the Widow Mines are coming into the main base here. There is nothing really back here, and no detection, actually, either. But
a robo, so Observer is started it up.
Yeah. And this is just so much here.
The Widow Mine does not do anything because back at Semper's base, all the SCVs go down. 37 SCVs. Marines also going down. And JG, puCK, JG, what did I say right there? puCK takes game 2.
All right, here we are. And our Terran player in red, up on the top right-hand side of the map, trying to basically take game number 3. I think both players are going to attempt to do that. It is Semper.
And his opponent, maybe not try to take game number 3, but take the series. It is the purple Protoss player from Flipside Tactics. It is puCK.
Damn right.
Why, yeah. Dang straight it is.
Yeah, SCV on his way across the map, both of them building up to that 400 mineral mark. However, yeah, there we go. An SCV going down to the natural position.
puCK's actually going to add on 3 gates right there and just do the awkwardest 4-gate push at 1 minute 40 seconds.
Bro.
Yep. I mean, just by note for Protoss players or any player off one base, you are saturated at the 52-second mark when you're making that first work or whatever, or when you're making the supply depot, whatever the supply be. You can saturate a main base in less than a minute. That is beautiful for anyone who wants to do the cheesy things. A little bit hard to do, though, especially with Protoss, and you need to get that higher tech, that gateway to utilize, so you do have the time as a factor, not only resources. Still, though, good thing. Ever so common, the barracks into reactor, really nice for Terran players, kind of becoming the standard in TVP at the moment. If you're not doing a Banshee player, even with other 1-1-1 builds, you generally do see that. And I love the bunker on the low ground. Semper is just trying to see. He does not want to be contained essentially with a pylon push. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It does give him a little control over both spots, as it can also be effective on that larger ramp. A third base coming down quickly here for puCK. And the first Adept is wandering on over.
He is wandering on over, and the second Adept also on the way. Bunker is there, though, and sadly, actually not sadly at all, screw it up. So the Adept can't fight that one, but he can try to get up into the main. Just scouting. We'll be able to scout everything without losing anything. Hopefully cancels, and we'll pull back.
Yep, and a decent number of Marines already out. The Widow Mine on its way. Starport is almost finished here as well. He went for a Viking first last time. I expect to see a medevac this time around. The Robo is not nearly as done as it was in the last game. So he knows he's got a bit more time before Warp Prism's out. And it is going to be a Viking.
It will be a Viking, as you are correct. And I like that, just trying to deny any Warp Prisms. Maybe scouting earlier, you'd be able to identify that. Even at early third base, that you gotta have to squeeze out a lot to get the Warp Prism out. And I'm just thinking about Adept nerf slightly, but I think making it 3 shots to kill Marines may be good also. And whether that be making Marines have 50 health, so yeah, Adept does 23 damage, or 23 damage?
Yeah,
23 damage. So maybe making a Marine 50 health instead of 45, so it does take 3 shots, something of the sort. Just different ideas as I'm looking at it and kind of comparing stuff. Depth shields do come down for puCK. He's got a Forge on the way. He's even got an Observer in his main, just being very careful about any Widowmine drops, which is what we've seen out of Semper, and is what exactly he is doing. He'll be going for the 3 Widowmine drop. I liked earlier on today we actually saw that and Hellions, just to try to pull your opponent out of position. But Semper will decide to do that with Marines. No upgrades though, none on the way, at least Marine wise.
Yep, we'll wander by an Adept here, kind of in an awkward position behind the minerals. The medevac following along with the main force, then kind of splitting off, as it does carry the devastating payloads.
Definitely the 10-ton payloads for those Widow Mines. Terrible things they are. We'll see how they react, or see what they do, because there is an Observer for puCK at the moment. He actually has 3 out, 1 across the map, 2 at home. Should be able to defend. There's the nice scan, and Marines just pull back saying, actually, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah, and the Observer gets to move out the wrong way.
Nope. Oh, it actually goes in the Mothership Core. Yeah. I'd love to see the Marines come back around with the medevac and snipe that Mothership Core. For now, though, cannon will go up, and the 2 Widow Mines will get away. 1 gets away for now. The other one will just kind of be annoying and force that cannon to be made in the natural. Same time, Adepts being annoying.
Okay, there we go. I was going to say he killed off one of the Widow Mines and was kind of delaying there on the second one, and hoped he saw it, but he did. There comes another drop in the main base. There's a cannon down here already, though, and we'll get 1 kill before being taken out.
We'll get that 1 kill, and something we're seeing very uniquely for puCK is, not even uniquely, but he's getting shield upgrades, which more and more, and I feel like just helps so much. Helps so much Adept Archon. You not only have shield upgrades for the Adept as a unit, but you can upgrade them to +2. Whatever are doing that, just allowing them to be so much more tanky versus this bio. Semper looking like right here he wants to push out, do something against this. He's got a nice force, but we're seeing more and more Terrans mix in Marauders. Now, the funny thing with Marauders is they actually do 5 damage versus Adepts as opposed to the 6 of the Marines. So you only get them really for that health and maybe concussive shells. So that's one also reason I feel like maybe Adepts should be armored, so Marauders are just as good against them or even just slightly better. That is generally what we've seen as Terran through all of StarCraft 2. That's... Oh, this actually can go straight on top of the army. Oh, not with the Widow Mines, though. Friendly fire could be possible. But this is something generally we've seen in all of StarCraft 2. Marauders being good versus for a toss.
Yeah, and this could just immediately be overwhelming here. The bunker will go down. SCV's coming out to try and help, but ultimately have to just retreat up that ramp. The missile turret there taken out. And, yeah, Widow Mines instantly down.
Instantly they will go down.
Yeah, it's just such an overwhelming force. Like, just visually, you can see how devastating this is. One thing that's neat with the Warp Prism, too, is it provides high ground vision that you're almost always going to have.
Does.
With the Observer as well.
What I love is the Blink Stalkers being mixed in because of that. There are Vikings, and just trying to deny that in. GG. puCK takes game 3.
Right-hand corner looking to go for the win, looking to move on into the semifinals. 1 game away from it is our Purple Protoss player. He is puCK. Purple Protoss puCK.
And his opponent? Not so Protoss, not so purple. Representing Canada, the Red Terran player, Semper. Canada.
Yeah, there's no alliteration possibilities there at all. He should change his name and race and color.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
yeah.
Canada. I thought you were talking about
No.
the name of Canada, and I was like, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like it's a pretty big step. It's a pretty big step as a country. We're actually going to rename ourselves. Every other country just like completely scrap out all the history books. Just screw everything.
Yeah. We should just name ourselves also Iceland. I think it'd be fine.
Is that actually like a joke in Canada? Because I feel like that potentially could. I feel like it has
should be.
premise.
Yeah.
It has premise, but it doesn't quite have meat to it. Like,
No.
I don't know.
There
I
should
think
be.
Lings, even though it doesn't matter for this matchup, I think Lings can get through this wall, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, maybe. Yeah. Do you think? I don't know. I can never tell sometimes. I think this is airtight, but yeah, I can never really tell on some of these new maps because some of them look like there's space, but there isn't.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's they set it up with little areas. They set it up where the actual areas you can't roam also kind of come onto the map, like the little red areas, and then they don't have those on some. So there's just blank space that you can't actually move into. That looks like you can.
Yeah, it's like on Dash and Terminal, how that like backdoor area, the entire thing can be walled off with one pylon or one depot, but it looks like it's a 3-building structure wide.
Exactly. You do have that issue a lot, even as Protoss, even as anyone, to be able to wall off.
Now
Robo
we
is
got
the
the
decision for
proxy
puCK.
Robo.
But
Yeah, proxy Robo.
is proxy.
Yeah, so I guess he's gonna make the warp-ins from down there. I assume that this is going to be some sort of Adept push again.
What's really interesting is that Semper is actually scouting. He scouted the top left for something of the sort.
Yeah.
Now, he does not see the natural, but even with that, it's interesting because what I'd say is you don't see the natural probably going for a drop. If he can scout up and see these gates, which he will if he goes to the top of the ramp, the Adept should be able to kill it, though. But it's more like, why would you assume there's something there if you can, the proxy, if you can safely know that, I mean, it's completely standard for Protoss to do this.
Yeah, it's a good,
Or he's just being
interesting
safe.
map to do it on too, because he could always have been taking the base in the back. But, yeah, he's obviously not. So the Warp Prism will come out. There is kind of a spotting depot over here on the right-hand side, which is pretty nice. Should give a little bit of early warning. The question is whether early warning is going to be enough. There's a cyclone on its way out.
The Cyclone is on its way out, as I've said before, is very important to defend. Not so great on the defense, or actually, it's very important to kill Adepts. Not so great on the defense, good on the offense. We do have this nice little area. I'm kind of curious if we could use this nice little area to warp in a lot of units and then elevator from behind that base where we normally see siege tanks and TVZ. We'll see, though. Here's the big warp in. Army is not in position, and there's only 10 Marines. I think puCK walks through this.
Yeah, we'll shade on over. He's going after the tech lab there a little bit.
That is mag accelerators, which is incredibly important for the Cyclones. Does a lot more damage if they have them. And now the Cyclones start to do damage. We'll be able to slowly pick them off, but it's a 6-ish second cooldown, and you can't constantly fire in them. So they will be able to do damage for now. Maybe not exactly what
Using
puCK
the
wants
warp
to.
prism there to
Some
pull
workers
back
killed.
the damaged ones as well. We'll clean it up, but so many workers have been killed here. And dropping on the high ground.
Oh, he could actually fight from there if he really wanted to. But for now, he won't. puCK looking to take his natural base at the moment, and after killing 11 workers, like, it's decent. And as you were saying, and actually, I wonder if the early game it matters more or matters less because you can produce them so quickly, or at least you do tend to produce them very quickly is what we're seeing in Legacy of the Void. So I wonder if it matters more to lose them early or more to lose them a little bit later on when you actually have to keep supplementing your army and when you have the production to supplement it.
I still think that early is worse just because I think there's a bit of
It screws up the rest of the game.
Yeah, it screws it up a lot more. It's going to last longer. Also, there's often a perception that you have more income or whatever, that you're more rich, I think, in Heart of the Swarm, but you just start that way. It doesn't actually speed up the time that it takes to build more. It doesn't actually increase what you're gathering. It just, you start it with more. So,
well, they did make the clock. They did make the clock slower,
Yeah.
so it also looks. Also, just mind-wise, not even what was happening. If they kept everything the same except for change the clock, we would also be really like, oh, this is good. But SCVs to defend. This is the point where the Adepts may want to focus down the SCVs here. This is Cyclones will be able to follow them, and this is what's great when you're aggressive, when you can fall back with Cyclones and go forward. A couple of Adepts do get picked off. And, puCK still has the possibility to take a natural. He's got pylons ready to warp in quickly there, and if the Nexus is there, do the same thing. Put an overcharge at his third base for natural. So far won't be the point. It's just, if I need to take it, I can, but I think I can win right here is what he's saying. Guys, puCK is one game away from moving on to the semifinals and face Patience. It would be a PvP. Can he do it? Takes out the bunker. Deals 2 Cyclones left. 4 workers going down. Currently it's 25 to 38. That is 38 SCV lead, but now workers being bold and some mules. The Adepts is so good as long as puCK can keep just warping in mass amount of Adepts, and he's even got a slight bank.
Yeah, he's got that second pylon wall there. He's killing off one of the supply depots. Of course, he can go into shade mode and just bypass the bunkers to go to the high ground as long as he kills this depot, which he does. And that does actually, again, supply block. There's actually a drop-down supply, but he does it right in
That's 16
the front
supply.
location. Yeah, right in the
That'd be
front
really
location
huge if he could
there.
snipe it.
Yeah.
Reactor also is at jeopardy. By the way, puCK is not a blink or anything. He actually has no upgrades other than warp gate. But we'll see, beautiful force field. puCK's known for that right there. We'll be able to snipe this engineering bay, I think, if he wanted to. For now, though, he's just kind of meandering around the main. And for Semper, a siege tank would be so crucial, but to actually have range, it would have to be pretty close to the edge, and that would be the army could snipe it with that high ground vision, with the warp prism just providing so many good utilities. And now they're going for it. They're going to be able to get right on top of the army, and the Stalkers will be able to join them with that warp prism.
Yeah, we'll now elevate her up here. He can choose to force field as well on the high ground.
Oh, kind of actually losing a lot of his Adepts right there, but all the Marines are low on health. He needs to warp in a big round of Adepts. He does have the possibility. 700 minerals, 400 gas, beautifully buying himself some extra time. Only 4 gates. Could warp in more Adepts. There's 4 more Adepts right now, and they will just keep pushing. There's another force field, and 1 more after this one to keep holding. There's only 1 Marine in that. They can start focusing down workers. Currently, they're actually even after puCK has killed a total of 40 workers.
Yeah, with no second base up until now, really. He's got to do a lot of damage to justify it, but he certainly is so far. Army does move back down to the low ground, populating the bunkers as the shades come up, but there's not as many as there once were.
I don't even think you want Shades right here. They're so low on health, you just want a couple Stalkers to have the higher fire rate and a little bit less damage, but we'll see. Shades still getting damage done. Medevacs are here now to kind of supplement this Bioforce. Combat Shields is done, by the way, so and +1 stim. This Bioforce now starting to do something, but Semper is holding, but at the loss of 45 workers. He's still even, though, surprisingly enough, with Mule and with everything. There's the scan, kind of the desperation scan of, oh crap, you do have your natural. And by the way, the main of Semper is mined out. Almost everything is only on 100-ish minerals left.
Yeah, he's actually got really uneven mining. There's a couple here that have 600, but because he's at a lower count, it's a bit awkward. Oh,
and because of mules, where you decide to mule.
Yeah, the way that you do that. But the third base is down there on the low ground. Oh,
the warp prism finally goes down.
And that
I don't think it matters, though, at this point. Like, there's Marines, but with the high fire rate of the Stalkers, they actually can start to work on some of these. SCVs are really critical here. Maybe a force field right in front of this, but not quite enough for that. Guardian Shield does go down. I think puCK barely wins this. Yeah.
Maybe not. He'll get cleaned up, but he does a lot of damage. That's another 10 workers killed, so now we are at 30 to 20.
Oh, I meant barely win the battle, not win the game, by the way. I think puCK barely wins that battle, technically, like, out of what you actually kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in terms of what, the value of it, for sure. In this case, though, there are actually 3 orbital commands, so he will be faster in remaking these SCVs, already back up to 25 from 20. 6 medevacs are out, which is not insignificant.
It's 6 units for 6 medevacs. They have very good health care. It is a socialist government here in the Dominion, really, really doing well on that health care for now, but this is a wonky situation because they're only a worker or 2 apart. puCK,
Yeah.
I feel like for puCK, if he takes a 3rd base, the issue is actually defending his natural or 3rd, whatever the situation may be. He's going Stargate, and he doesn't have Blink. Yes, he's got Twilight, but it's going into Adept upgrade, so it's an issue of how does he defend it with only 11-second photon overcharges. This is an awkward game because it totally... a lot of these games, I'm like, this guy's totally won it, and then it just flips around because they didn't actually do enough damage. While he did 55 workers of damage. That's a lot.
Here they come now. Photon overcharges are going off here to try and clean this up, but okay, yeah, now target firing down the medevacs, which is quite a
take it back. Photon overcharges are exactly what he needed to do. I think you can produce off 5 gates, by the way, in Legacy of the Void, at least for Protoss. With what we've seen, you have a little bit of surplus. Because of the time difference and stuff, you just have... It doesn't quite perfectly time out. Maybe that's not the case, though. 15 workers did go down in that drop, by the way, leaving puCK actually down by about 20.
Yeah, for a long time.
But all the workers in the natural are healing the bunker.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
Yes, very. But this looks to be swinging very strongly Semper's way at this point here. He is charging through the remainder of these, getting so low despite very good micro here from the Warp Prism. There's only so much it can do at this point. He doesn't have the economy to really replace at a high enough rate.
Exactly. He just does not have the economy to actually be able to produce out of, what, 4 racks, 5 racks, a reactor, some starports factories, so he has to very much choose exactly what he wants and make it. puCK now has a Phoenix out and should be able to deny drops and just going for more damage.
Oh, Mule's dropping directly on the Adepts.
Oh, never what do you want to do there.
Yeah. So getting a few more kills there and deflecting the Mules, obviously. But no, there's now turrets in a lot of the good attack angles.
The Vikings could strand these Adepts here.
Yeah.
A little bit awkward.
Shade off of that, you punks.
Yeah, yeah, that's really... Oh, will they get... Oh, I was gonna say, it'd be funny if they got a Marauder, like, ha, fine. We die gloriously, though, and for ire. Look at the top right, guys. 1,000 guys.
Drop attempts down again. Widow Mine.
Oh!
Getting a few more kills. Phoenix will chase away that medevac. Or kill it, not chase it away.
It's kind of random, but I just realized that technically a Mothership Core benefits from air upgrades. Just looking at it, it's
that
got...
is true. That is true.
That doesn't mean anything to any of this. I just clicked on it. I was like, oh, hey there. I guess it benefits from air stuff. Oh, another Widowmine shot, but perfectly. puCK knows exactly how many seconds that is. It's 29 seconds, almost 30, when he has to pull back and sadly do one probe who has to be the chosen one to die. Oracle now here for puCK. He will be able to clean that up. Remember, there's no Robo, but puCK's main is almost completely mined out, a little bit more evenly than Semper. He's got to start looking towards a 3rd base, but it's just, where do you take it in this position when your opponent's trying to drop and when they know they need to drop to win?
Yeah, he's got now an Oracle out, although it's actually just at home. It may be there more for detection or killing the drops off. I don't know. He's kind of got to do something.
Probably detection in this case. Oh, the Phoenix.
Yeah, he knows there's turrets on the other side. He knows there's a bunker.
He does know there's turrets and bunkers on the other side. For now, Semper has effectively a nice 2-base economy. It is quite spread out, and there's actually Actually, killed the rocks. Never
2
mind.
Vikings sneaking into
rocks.
the main base here. They will drop.
This depth force will decimate it. I love the line, the parade line right there. But easily, Semper can just pull up and get on out of there. Actually cancels it. Vikings in the main will start to hail away at workers. Actually kill 5, and I think this is one of the last defenses for puCK. We'll see. He's actually only on 1 base income versus opponent's 2 base. Oh, going back and forth. That is 800 minerals to 1,200. About a third or a quarter more income. Ghost Academy, I like it, from Semper.
Yeah, Vikings have landed at the third base, but they're kind of sitting there being sneaky for now. Maybe waiting until it's done and probes actually transfer over.
Sneaky is a good word. I feel like Vikings are like the opposite of sneaky, though.
Yeah.
We're a big fighter jet. We should be sneaky in this situation. I like the Ghost Academy, though, and Armory. Maybe some extra upgrades. At the moment, we do see 1-1 for Semper, by the way. And, I mean, guys, if he wins this game, he evens up 2-2. So this would be a very nice game for him to take. He's got 1,200 gas in his bank, and he's starting to pump out Ghosts, which I think is phenomenal, versus Adepts. Generally, we've seen players try to rush to them, and it just doesn't quite work out. You can do a Ghost Rush, but not a Ghost Rush with EMP with Bio. Yeah. For now, though, it may work very well in this low econ state in this game, moving into the technically ultra late game in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, pretty much. Ultra
late game. We're in uncharted territory right here. Anything can happen.
As a fourth base gets up now for Semper, he's had so much oversaturation up until this point. His lead in SCVs is actually finally going to be really paying off. He's got 52 SCVs to just 39 workers on puck side of things, but now that he can fully mine, he's going to be hard to outproduce and hard to hold off.
I like the one Marine at the front just to be able to check for stasis wards, which the Army... Oh, it doesn't matter. It goes off. The Adepts are not quite in position, though. Coming from the third base, technically the natural base, will teleport into that third base position and go for the defense. That was really... It's kind of awkward, because if you also have two stasis wards, both will trip on one unit. Phoenixes will be here to clean up, maybe? Not quite.
They're going to try, and they'll catch this small force as it unstasises.
There is multiple situations where I've seen 3 or 4 stasis wards within the same location, and one unit trips all of them. So I don't know how that AI works.
Yeah,
but it doesn't quite. You can't quite kill it. It's not a Widowmine where you can get rid of it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
Oh, Widowmine hits.
Speaking of Widowmine,
bringing down the health, bringing down the actual just shields down to half. 2-2 is almost done, and Semper is looking to make this his last push. Time did go down right there. Will delay the army, but won't actually stop the push from happening.
Yep, looks like he's massively picking up here now. Will be dropping into the third base where he's got the natural, I guess, as he took it. He's going to take the rocks down.
Oh, and that will cut about a third of the units back. Still, there's the JJ! 2-2. This is the final game in a best-of-5 series, which means we are tied up 2-2. Here on the right-hand side, from Flipside Tactics, the purple Protoss player looking to make himself an extra $50. It is puCK. Extra 50 over the 50 in the quarterfinals. They will get 100 if they move into the semifinals, which is the round of 4.
Indeed, indeed. And over here, looking for the same sort of goal, but probably for more pure-hearted reasons because he's Canadian. It is our red Terran It is our red Terran player, Semper. puCK's pretty pure-hearted, too.
I don't know, man. He is from the United States and North Dakota.
It's true.
I guess North Dakota is pretty close to Canada, though. Okay, guys, in reality, puCK is pretty close to just being a Canadian. Let's be honest here.
A little bit. He blends when he's here.
That is scary. Did I blend?
No, you did not blend.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's amazing.
You're clearly an Arizona boy.
Arizona boy? I actually, funny thing is, the majority of my life I grew up in Chicago, so is that from short, because I wear shorts all the time? That's just me being like, I love shorts, man.
Yeah, that was part of it, plus you just gave me the Arizona mug. But there's something...
The Arizona... Oh, well, okay, I was trying to think of something from where it's from. Jamie obviously bringing liquor. He's from England, you can guess off the bat. No.
It's true, though.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Jamie, which is meaning trigonal. We'll see, though, what happens this game. Bridgehead, much more favored for puCK. If he can get the 2-base economy up, if he wants to get the 2-base economy up, he can really push hard. 1-1-1, coming from Semper.
Yep, and it is, the maps really do obviously play a pretty big role in these matchups here so far, and this one provides a lot of unique opportunities to basically, you can do a lot, you can break through the back, you can drop through a lot of places.
There's just options all over
Yeah,
the
there's
place.
options. There's a high ground over the third. It's a bit easier to maybe starve out someone on the two base. Yeah, you could expand in the back, you could expand in the front. There's a lot of variation that you can go on this one.
A lot of variation is possible and fun to do. I like maps like Bridgehead because they do make you play a little bit more differently and more to the map. They provide diversity in builds and a lot better of a viewing experience. SCV of Semper believed in himself, but you know who believed in himself more? This Adept, which that's a perfect location. You can't get in, but it looks like you can.
Yeah.
Just right just next to that Rax. Almost he could, but just because it's actually like I guess a fall off into the ground, they kind of red it off, or at least rope it off so you can't go in that location around it. I like the Viking opener from Semper we've been seeing, very much adapting.
Yeah. It does just put that little bit of extra, like you can't just sit here pressure on them. Like, it's not doing a great job at like just totally killing off a warp prism right away or catching it, but it also means that you can't be like lazy and keep it stationary. You have to constantly be on the move, and it's harder to establish that point that you're just building up warp ins. You have to keep moving.
That is true. You do really have to. You do really have to try to be poking in there and be very wary of your units. Viking will catch his first warp prism, I think. See how the micro ends up going. Blink is the first decision from puCK. Nope, he cancels it. Good. I was gonna say, as he did that in my head, I was saying, I think that's on accident. Normally used to hitting that blink hotkey. The vision of a warp prism once the unit's unloaded. I'm actually curious how it's like.
And this one will drive him off at a second Viking there as well. So a much bigger deterrent, and he's caught it a lot sooner than in previous games, which is great for Semper.
That is definitely great for Semper, just denying any of the early damage and disallowing a foothold into his main. Actually, we'll go with another Viking off the back, just to be double safe. I guess one double safe, so 1-1 safe. Robo
I like this Great Wall of China here at the back with the supply depots. I'm wondering if he intends to complete the wall or whether this is a herding mechanism into the Widow Mines.
I like the idea, but the fact that there's a supply depot there already gives vision, so your opponent knows they're there. So it's not like they're going to try to drop on the edge of the darkness. So it's not like puCK is going to try to drop on the edge there because he sees supply depots. I like the idea, but
if he tries to like just break through, a single Marine is actually lifted out. Very cute.
By the way, both a Warp Prism and a Viking do have 10 sight, so there's no dodging a Warp Prism can be able to do. And 3 bunkers going down. Rocks going down quickly. There's no Marauders with this force because there's no concussive shells, which I think is the main reason you'd even do that in this situation. A couple Stalkers, though, starting to be mixed in. So are Sentries. See how it's doing? Kind of dancing back and forth. Adepts also could be Psionic, now that I think about it, type-wise. But there's nothing that's also good for Psionic.
Yeah, this is to basically stop the shade in. Here, as everything is kind of corralled into this corner. Nice force fields to keep the main force back, and the bunker is not done, which is crucial. That
I guess it did what he wanted to. He was herded into those warp prisms, herded into the Widow Mines, which is really nice for him.
That was the idea. Unfortunately now, though, as he lost the forward bunker, he could end up losing a lot of these supply depots as they push in and out.
Definitely that is a possibility.
And, he kind of will fairly quickly here.
He's very close to losing this hold that he had, or at least the defense. All the rocks are gone. Very easy to funnel units. So there still is the Widowmine there to actually deny more units from coming in, but the Observer is now with puCK's army. CCs are backing, and now it's going to come up to the Siege Tank micro to start to do something. This is a devastating army. Nothing, literally nothing being produced for puCK off the back of this. Third base on the way, though. Or actually, third base done.
Yeah, at this point, it's the same aggression that he's done kind of before, but he's got a better economy and better options behind it. So if he just continues this harassment, doing bits of damage and kind of preventing forward progress, then he's getting more ahead. Whereas in the previous games, he's been like stagnant while he's trying to do this. So he has to win with it. This time around, he doesn't have to win with this.
He has a fall back plan or a back B, a plan something. He has an extra plan here to do, so I really like that, giving him more opportunity. The Widowmines can do friendly fire damage potentially. Oh, big Widowmine hits, but the Adepts, there's no Marine that survives this attack. That was a terrible, that'll go down in the Marine history books as the Battle of Bridgehead. Every single Marine was slaughtered by the Adepts, and the SCVs is going to go down too. Siege Tank with some micro will be able to do this, but remember, there's two Immortals, there's Stalker, there's some Sentries. It's not like there's nothing that shoots the medevac, but now workers in the main going down. Currently, how many workers does Semper have? 24.
Yeah, we're 55. Yeah, then this is just getting ugly here now.
I think puCK
has
good GG! I was going to hype it, but we can hype it now because puCK goes 3-2. Moving on to the round of 4 versus Patience.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.